Para hoy he preparado los tratamientos con plasma para farm, para los animalitos.
¿Has preparado qué cosas para los animalitos?
Una presentación, cómo utilizamos el plasma para los farmers.
Fenómeno, sí, sí. Today he has prepared all the material on the base of plasma for the animals in the farm.
Y por favor, si me das permiso para... ya lo tengo. Ok. Y vamos a empezar. Ok, hemos empezado con los 4 gases de base.
We have started with the 4 basic gases.
El gas en el estado nano, sólida de la materia.
This is the nano with the basic structure of the beginning of matter.
Gas, yes, gas in nano state of matter.
Yeah, we call this gas in a nano state.
Yes. Y aquí hemos hecho los gases en el suelo, afuera.
Here we've got the ganses on the ground outside.
Y aquí hemos mostrado que no se necesita condiciones muy especiales, laboratorios muy especiales para hacer el plasma, no.
And here we can show you we don't need any special laboratory place to do all this work. Just in plain nature.
Yes. Y el plasma que hemos preparado aquí es para la agricultura, para los animales, para todas las almas que viven aquí.
And this is for all the animals and nature and all the agricultural part.
Ok, también hemos puesto los gases en una piscina, CO2-ZNO.
We put these gases into this small pool.
Y con ese agua se puede bañar, hemos bañado también en ella, y también hemos regado el campo.
And with this water we've bathed in it, and we've also sprayed it on the fields.
Se acerca a los animalitos y toma el agua, abejas y otros tipos de insectos, pájaros.
All the different animals, bees, birds, and whatever come and drink from here.
Y le encantan muchísimo.
They love this product.
Aquí mostrando dónde están los reactores, el de CO2, y se va a ver los aminoácidos encima, que son importantes.
Here you can see all the different materials, the ganses, and the most important part is the amino acids, which we haven't got to forget.
Aquí tenemos el reactor de CO2, el gas y el aminoácido abundante.
Here we've got the CO2 reactor.
Aquí el reactor de ZNO.
Here we have the zinc oxide reactor.
El reactor de óxido de cobre.
The copper oxide reactor.
Y por último el CH3.
And the last one is the CH3.
Aquí hemos hecho una mezcla de ZNO y CO2 para la piscina.
Here we've done a mixture of CO2 and zinc oxide for the pool.
Y con los otros vamos a ver en adelante cómo hemos trabajado con ellos.
And the rest of them we show you in the near future what we use them for.
La idea es que también esa piscina se ha convertido en una generadora de campos.
The idea also was to make this pool into a field generator.
Y lo vamos a dejar todo el invierno para que se vea que si el APA está plasmatizada, la piscina no se va a romper.
And the idea is to leave this all during the whole winter to demonstrate that if the water is plasmatized, the pool won't break or deteriorate.
Ok. Y aquí, con los 4 ganses de base que has visto, hemos puesto en el pozo de aquí.
And we've also put the 4 different ganses in the well the cattle use.
Y aquí hemos puesto lo primero, los 4 CO2, ZNO, óxido de cobre y CH3, 25% de cada uno.
Here you can see the well, and we put 25% of each of the ganses mixed up into this well.
Y luego hemos añadido al final CO2, ZNO.
And after this, we have added some extra CO2 and zinc oxide. Imagino también los aminoácidos, ¿no es cierto?
Siempre con los aminoácidos. Son muy importantes.
We've also added the amino acids.
Porque con el aminoácido hacemos la conexión.
Because with the amino acids, we got the connection with the fields.
Y aquí fuimos invitados de un amigo que tiene 30 vacas y algunos caballos.
Here we were invited over by a friend who has some 30 cattle and horses.
Y las vacas y los caballos tenían problemas con la digestión.
And these different animals had problems with their digestion.
Y me pidió ayuda.
¿Y qué?
Me pidió ayuda para resolver el problema.
He asked me to solve these problems.
Hemos hecho las mezclas de ganses en el pozo, como he dicho, y luego hemos puesto de donde toman las vacas agua.
As you can see here, we've poured the different ganses into the well and the different fountains, the containers where the cattle drink from.
He hecho la combinación, como podéis ver en la mano, CO2, ZNO.
As you can see, you saw me mixing up in the different containers and pouring them into these pools.
Y aquí en la primera también hemos puesto un poquito de gas de óxido de cobre con el aminoácido.
In the first one, we've also put some copper oxide to help them with their health.
Hemos hecho varias combinaciones para ver qué le gustan más.
We have done different combinations so we could observe what the cattle choose from, or from which different containers they drink from.
Y por ejemplo, aquí hemos puesto CO2, ZNO y hemos añadido el óxido de cobre.
As you can see here in the white one, just by me, we've added the extra copper oxide.
No mucho, como 9 mililitros por ahí.
Not very much, about 9 milliliters of it.
Y hemos visto que todas las vacas y los caballos que tenían problemas de digestión han tomado agua de aquí lo primero.
And what we have observed is the cattle that had the digestive problems have come over to this container to drink the water from.
Se acercaban, tomaban y luego se iban a tomar de otra.
First they came along to this one and then they went over to drink from the rest of them.
Ese experimento lo hemos hecho hace 6 meses.
These experiments we've done about 6 months ago.
Y el farmer se llama Basile.
The farmer's name is Basile. Basil, that would be.
Sí, y de entonces las vacas ya han desaparecido los problemas digestivas en 3 días.
The cows have got rid of the digestive problems in 3 days.
Y empezaron a regalar más leche.
And they have produced very much more milk.
Y en ese año en la zona no fue mucha lluvia, pero las vacas no han tenido ningún problema.
There wasn't much rain this last season, but the cows haven't had any problems whatsoever.
Las vacas regalan 2 litros cada una y eso se mantiene de 6 meses. 2 litros más de como normal.
The cows have produced 2 more liters a day than from normal production for the last year.
Pero lo más importante es que se ha quedado así. No importa si cambie la comida o no.
And the important thing is this hasn't changed, even if they've changed their feeding.
Y hemos pedido los análisis para leche, pero de la empresa que lo colectan ha dicho que lo va a dar.
We have asked the company that collects the milk to do the analysis of these milks, but we still haven't had them.
Y solo le ha dicho después de 6 meses que todavía no están hechos, pero tiene el más bueno leche de la zona.
They haven't done these analysis, but they say they are producing the best milk in the zone.
Y eso se mantiene de 6 meses.
And this has been for the last 6 months.
Ahora vamos a pasar la segunda experiencia.
Now we'll go over to the second experience.
Aquí estamos trabajando con un médico veterinario.
Here we're working with a veterinary or vet, as we call them.
Y tiene con todo unos 50 vacas.
He looks after about 50 different cattle.
Pero 35 son con leche ahora mismo.
And 35 of these are producing milk.
10 tienen que hacer su bebé y otros más.
10 of them are caring for their fodlings.
Aquí hemos preparado las bobinas para los 4 reactores de base.
Here the coils for producing the 4 different ganses, basic ganses.
Y en el tiempo que se hacía estos 4 ganses, también nosotros en el otro sitio hacíamos lo mismo.
Here you can see we're producing the ganses and we're doing this in elsewhere also.
Aquí el último al principio fue CH3 y luego se transformó en ese color negro.
At the beginning this was CH3 and then it turned black.
Y como me ha pasado, como has visto en el otro sitio en Bascauch.
And this happened just as you've seen in my other experience a few days ago.
Aquí hemos puesto también los 4 gansos en el pozo.
Here we have added the 4 different ganses in this place where the cattle feed off.
Pasó lo mismo, las vacas en 3 días resolvieron problemas de digestión y empezaron a regalar más leche.
And we've also seen that the cattle here in 3 days they've recuperated from any problems in their health and are producing much more quantity of milk and better quality.
También aquí se mantiene son casi 2 meses.
This has been for the last couple of months.
Y aquí es maravilloso como las vacas son felices.
And here we could see how the cattle feel in a marvelous way.
Comen menos, pero la leche se mantiene más de como en los años anteriores.
They consume less fodder, but the milk production is keeping up as normal.
Lo que hemos visto se llama Lionel, el dueño de la farm.
Lionel is the farm's owner, or the owner of the farm. Let's put it that way.
Y aquí en esta granja trabaja Lionel y tiene un empleado.
Lionel works here and he has an assistant there also.
2 personas que trabajan con 50 vacas y 80 y pico hectáreas de tierra.
These 2 persons work with about 50 different cattle and ¿cuánto eran? 80 o 50 vacas.
50 vacas y 80 y pico hectáreas de tierra.
They tend to 50 different cows and 80 hectares of ground or fields.
Sí, es maravilloso con la tecnología.
This is marvelous. This, as you can see, with applying our technology or new technology.
Aquí son las vacas que tienen que hacer sus bebés.
Here is where the cows are waiting to give their small children.
Aquí son unos bebés que tienen unos 3 meses.
Here you can see about these new cattle that are about 3 months old.
Aquí es una madre.
Here you can see a mother expecting.
Otros bebés de 1 mes.
Here a couple of kids which are 1 month old.
También un perro, tiene más perros.
Here you can see a dog, but they got several other dogs.
Y que es maravilloso, cuando nos acercamos, ya no le ladra, no sale para morderme. Es como tranquilo y siente que no queremos hacer nada malo.
Ever since we come with the ganses, the dogs don't bark at us or try to attack us. They are very in a tranquil mode.
Aquí es la zona donde se sacan el leche con dispositivos mecánicos.
Here is where they collect the milk with the mechanical artifacts.
También aquí todo lo que se limpia con aquaplasma que sale del pozo donde hemos puesto los gansos.
All this is washed out with the GANS water which we have in the well.
Aquí es donde se prepara, donde se pone el leche.
This
Se
is
guarda el
the
leche.
tank where we collect all the milk.
Sí. Un tanque refrigeradora.
It's a fridge tank where we keep the milk.
Aquí se pone para hacerse el queso. Aquí se pone para escurrir el queso.
In this round tank, we produce the cheese, and this rectangular tank is where we pour the cheese into.
El leche lo hemos probado antes de poner el plasma y después y es maravilloso. Se ha cambiado el gusto y todo.
We have tested the milk before and after we have added the ganses to all this production, and the difference in the cheeses is fantastic.
Aquí es un aparato para medir las cualidades de leche.
This is an apparatus where we measure the different qualities of the milk.
La proteína, la densidad y mucho más.
The protein contained in the milk and the density and whatever.
Y eso tenemos dos pruebas que hemos hecho después de un mes cada uno.
We have continued doing this testing, and we compared them 1 month after the other.
Y aquí, eso fue hace un mes, y la otra.
This was done a month ago, as you can see, and this is another one after a month.
No, al revés fue. Eso fue hace
the other way
un
around.
mes. Sí, eso, porque la proteína tenía 3,05 y luego
Here's the protein content of the milk.
Sí, es 0,318.
Here you can see the difference.
Ha crecido y eso más de también como es él solo en la zona que tiene ese tipo de leche con tan cualidades.
And this was seen in the protein content of the milk only in this zone where we're doing this experiment.
Y aquí después de que se ha hecho el queso, una parte de él hemos puesto en una caja.
Here you can see part of the cheese we have made, and we put it into this box.
Y hemos hecho una mezcla de agua plasmatizada con gas y aminoácido, con plasma y aminoácido de CO2
Here we've done a mixture of ganses with zinc oxide and CO2 and amino acids.
Y le hemos dejado con plasma salada, con salinidad 9% hasta 3 días.
And we've poured them with a content of 9% salt, and we've done this poured it into the container for 3 days.
Sí, bueno, 9% es la salinidad de los reactores.
Yeah, 9% is the salinity of the reactors.
Aquí como hemos diluido con otra agua plasmatizada, la concentración del sal es 3,5.
As we mix the original ganses with a 9% salt, we mix them with some more plasma water, which contains no salt. The concentration was down to 3.5% salt.
Normalmente se
Pouring
utiliza,
into cheese.
normalmente aquí se utiliza una concentración de 20 a 30% de sal para conservar el queso.
Normally, they would use 20 to 30% salt to conserve or preserve the cheese.
Nosotros hemos hecho 3% de salinidad porque no me gusta mucho salado.
We've done this production with 3.5% salt because I personally don't like the salty cheese.
Aquí encima mejor poner unos platos de vidrio o de cerámica para que el queso se quede dentro de la solución del plasma.
The best thing is to put some ceramic plates on top of the cheese to keep them under the water.
Sí, para tenerlo en la solución, para coger todo el plasma que necesitan.
Yeah, so this cheese can absorb all the plasma perfectly.
Sí, como he dicho, lo hemos dejado 3 días y después hemos quitado el líquido, el plasma.
As I've mentioned, we've left this for 3 days and then we've taken the plasma water out.
Lo que ha quedado de aquí hemos utilizado para biocompost, plasma biocompost.
This plasma we've used for the compost or manure, and mixed with the manure for the fields.
Pero también se puede utilizar y poner otro queso varias veces en la misma solución.
But that solution you can use also for different other cheeses.
Ok, eso es después de que lo sacamos, después de una semana.
Here you can see the cheese which we have taken out after a week.
Sin necesitar tenerlo en la nevera o en una zona fría.
Without the necessity of putting it into a fridge or some cold zone.
Aquí es el queso que está hecho con salinidad 30% y empezó a estropearse después de unos 3 días.
Here you can see some other cheese which had 30% content of salt, and after 3 days it was decomposing.
Con el queso que lo tenemos en plasma no pasa eso nunca.
With a plasmatized cheese, this has never happened.
Eso es una foto de hoy.
This is a picture, today's picture.
El queso lo tenemos en esa bolsa, en una bolsa de papel y una bolsa de algodón.
We keep the cheese in a paper bag and a cotton bag.
Y tiene un mes de cuando está afuera sin pasar nada.
And here you can see the cheese after a month, which nothing has happened to it.
Ok, el mismo magnífico Lionel. Aquí está plasmatizando las semillas para sembrar en campo.
Here you can see Lionel plasmatizing the seeds, which you're gonna seed on in the fields.
Ya lo he hecho y es maravilloso.
He has done this previously and it's marvelous.
Y empezando del próximo año, aquí va comida también ser para las vacas y todo plasmatizada.
And as from next year, we're going to have this plasma water for all the cows, the different animals, and the whole of the production in these fields.
Aquí Horacio y la familia, Horacio, Stefan y Adriana.
Here, Horatius, Stefania, and the whole family.
Adriana, sí, es una parte del equipo y le agradezco muchísimo para el soporte y para implicarse en eso con toda la familia.
And also Adriana, as you can see here, helping out in all this work.
trabajamos juntos de 3 años en todo eso y hacemos cosas maravillosas.
We have been at this for the last 3 years and we do marvelous works.
Y somos un equipo de 12 almas que cuando es necesario, no importa el sitio de Rumanía, van a venir voluntariamente a ayudarnos.
We're a group of 12 persons who for the last 3 years have gone all over Romania to help different people out with all this technology.
Un momento, por favor.
Just a moment.
Ok. Hemos aquí eso para recordar que con esto hemos empezado del principio poner los ganses en nuestros pozos.
As you can see here, we've started the whole process by pouring the ganses into our wells.
Y claro, con eso hacemos, estamos limpiando la ropa, preparar la comida, las infusiones, haciendo todo.
And this water is being used to wash the clothes and the food production and whatever else we do with the water.
Y claro, los resultados hablan por sí mismos.
And the results talk for themselves. It's all marvelous work.
Y como has visto, ya compartimos todo.
As you can see, we share everything with everybody.
Porque lo sé que alguien va a ser inspirado para utilizar el plasma.
We do this because we know people will inspire themselves to follow these teachings.
Utilizando también en las construcciones.
Also in the dome production.
Utilizando el plasma en todos los aspectos de la vida.
Utilizing the plasma in all the aspects of life.
Para elevar nuestra alma y el alma de todo lo que hay alrededor de nosotros.
To elevate our souls and the souls of everything which is around us.
Para recordar y viajar como rayos cósmicos que somos.
To be able to travel as cosmic rays as we all are.
Thank you.
Beautiful work.
Vamos a hacerlo, John, también por parte y repetirlo otra vez con lo de las abejas, las cabras, los cerdos y todos los experimentos porque hemos utilizado plasma en todo y para todo.
We will separate all this material in different sections so you can appreciate all the work we've done with the different sections of the agricultural and farming experiences, which we have been doing for the last years.
Y también, John, con las abejas, con todo. Hay muchísimas.
The bees and whatever.
Sí. Otra vez, gracias al señor Kesh, a todos los buscadores de conocimiento. Gracias, Rick. Gracias a nosotros a todos.
And as usual, thank Mr. Kesh for all the teachings and Rick, what he's doing, and all of you.
Ok, si hay preguntas, voy a responder.
If there are any questions, I'll respond.
Y también quiero recordar que las informaciones originales lo podéis encontrar en la Case Foundation.
And I'll repeat that whatever information you want, you will find them in the foundation pages.
También hay cursos privados para agricultura y para muchas cosas en la fundación.
And you've also got different private teachings in the foundation.
Hay que aplicar como estudiante para conocer y comprender más.
You've got to inscribe yourself as a student there in the foundation through a yearly donation.
Yes. Y también tengo que recordar que eso es solo uno de los experimentos, unos puntos de vista.
And I've repeat that this is one of the experiments we do, and it's also one of the points of view of all this technology.
Hay muchos buscadores de conocimiento como nosotros en otros países que han hecho lo mismo.
There are many different knowledge seekers in other countries that are doing the same.
Y han utilizado el plasma, el mismo plasma, pero diferente de como nosotros, con muy buenos resultados.
They have used the different plasmas in a different way that what we are doing, and they've also had very good results.
Por eso cada uno tiene que comprender y experimentar y hacer su propia utilización del plasma.
This is to say that everybody has to experiment and do different combinations of the plasmas and teachings and get their own experience out of this.
Porque siempre hay que tener en cuenta también el medio, las almas que viven alrededor de donde hacemos los experimentos.
We've also got to take into consideration the fields of the place where we will be working. So all this interacts and gives different results.
Pero una vez que empezamos a utilizar el plasma, nuestra alma me va a decir cómo y qué y cuándo utilizarlo.
And take into consideration that when we work with all this material, our souls will help us out in all these different experiences.
Thank you.
Okay, very nice, Giani. So any further questions or comments on that sector?
Thanks, Giani, for sharing all this information regarding farming, and we all appreciate it. The reason I'm speaking is that, the thing that was brought up by Stefania and the Universal Council meeting. And we have experiments similar to Giani done in farms in Bangladesh, chicken farm with animals as well, and cows and goats. And we have also done gardening and rice production and this kind of things. There is not much in video recording there, but we have good results. And some of my students are doing these, and I help out sometimes. The reason I'm bringing this up is that this is important work. Of course, it has to be done, and people have to in a way know about it. Sometimes we have these results, like one particular farm that I know of. The others, they watch that something is going on, things are happening well and all that. Most of them just an onlooker kind of situation. And this is not just in agriculture, health, and elsewhere, as we were talking yesterday in the Universal Council. So I would ask people, comments and opinion regarding, doing this physical level work. And then there is the soul level application of how we can transmit this. Of course, the GANS water, presence of GANS water in various parts of the world do help. And what we may do, and of course, the satellite system that are coming into operation, of course, is a part of this solution. And so it's not just at the physical level that we are doing it, the soul elevation of politicians. All of these are coming into picture at the same time. So the mind, organizing this something of this heterogeneous and of massive scale. Physical organization of such things, as I think, is a monumental task in my opinion. But soul level, maybe high field strength, there is a different, it comes out in a different way. So this is my, so I would ask for, people with a lot of experience. There are a lot of people, Giani, Lyric, Mark, Jalal, and others. How would we go about, organizing, perhaps at the soul level, in creating an effort to make this dissemination faster, or accelerate the whole process, and reach out to people so that they are more willing to receive this understanding. Anyway, this is something. How do we organize? This is not necessarily only physical level, but other levels that we are becoming familiar at this point in time, for example. So anybody's comment would be appreciated, and perhaps it may lead to some action that is different and yet coherent with all the physical activities people are doing everywhere in the world.
I think a couple thoughts. One is what Mr. Kesh explained when he went through many years of trying to push the technology and push the various governments. Well, I think he's pushed just about every organization's button by this time. But he said something recently that he came to an understanding that it was premature when he was pushing too hard. It was premature. He had to basically let go and try again later, sort of thing. So he learned to just let go. If it wasn't time for a particular idea to come out, or a particular product or whatever, then he would just let it go rather than push for it. Because when you push for it, you get a corresponding push back, I guess you could say. And sometimes that push back could actually make it push backwards in a way, because the pushback can be so strong, especially, considering the well, just the general conditions and environment might be not conducive. And if you trigger the authorities or the governments in that environment, then they might push back with, well, example in YouTube of censorship, for example. So he had to learn, in that case, not to push so hard with the health technology, and went to other means of explaining the plasma teaching without incorporating the health aspect. It's been that way for the last year or two, basically. So there's a time to push, I guess. The moral of the story is there's a time to push and a time to not push. There is a saying that you can't push a rope, for example, or you can't push a chain as well. So sometimes even inducing the opposite can create the changes that you're looking for. So those are in some realms might induce something that's the opposite into society. Society pushes back in the way that they want them to actually go.
Enrique, I can say that exactly the same thing. You know, like I've in ways you can understand the knowledge, but you can't teach it because it's not fully integrated into you. You learn it, but it's not fully integrated to you. You see it, but it's not fully integrated to you. So you have to go through that process of understanding yourself so that you fully understand it. You might have the knowledge, and that's a different thing. You see, having knowledge isn't valid within us until we prove it to ourselves. And it's the same as the CO2 box, the same as everything, every step along the way has been like that. And I know that when you receive knowledge, it's hard to convey it because it's not integrated yet. You haven't done it. You haven't been through the exercise. You haven't integrated it into yourself. Does this make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we have knowledge, but until we actually are able to use it or to find a way to make it practical, to get some sort of manifestation that makes sense, then it's not very useful in a way. Just theoretical knowledge doesn't, it just bounces around, doesn't really go anywhere. Then when we apply it, then we get the understanding. And it's that understanding that's so important rather than the knowledge.
Yeah.
And Giani has a hand up. I don't know if that's something we've seen before. Or...
Yes, Mark.
Go ahead, Gianni.
John, please help me.
No need. Horatio came in.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Just joined about 10 minutes ago.
Tengo que añadir algo, completar algo.
I have to add something, yes.
Hace 2 años, cuando los de la Cage Foundation Rumanía se han ido al gobierno, le han dicho que no hay experimentos en Rumanía.
When the group from here, from Romania, went over to the government and told them all about this, this 2 years ago, the government said there was no experiments here in Romania about all this.
Y ahora sí que existan experimentos en Rumanía con buenos resultados.
And now we've got all the experiments they wanted and with very good results.
Y los con quien trabajamos ahora ya saben que eso solo es un paso.
And the people we're working with also know that these are the first steps in the experimentation.
Porque también hablamos en el taller de cómo nos alimentamos solo con los campos.
And also we talk about the way we feed ourselves with the fields, not with food.
Y por el trabajo que hace el Concilio Universal, el RIC, el señor Kesh y todos los buscadores de conocimiento, el conocimiento se va a transferir por el alma.
And with the work that the Universal Council, Rick, and all of you knowledge seekers, we are going to transmit all this knowledge to our souls.
Porque, por ejemplo, donde trabajamos con cientos de hectáreas de tierra y todo eso, hablamos cómo vamos a hacer el cambio.
And here you could see the way we're working in hundreds of different hectares of land and production. We're producing a great change.
Sí, porque, por ejemplo, los 120 hectáreas de trigo, solo ese año lo vamos a hacer.
This experiment with 120 hectares of wheat, we're only going to do it once this year.
Porque el trigo que sale de estos 120 hectáreas vale como otros miles de hectáreas por la cualidad.
This production of the 120 hectares will cover thousands of different hectares in the future.
Va a alimentar muchas almas en la fisicalidad, pero también en el alma.
This will feed many physical bodies, but also their souls.
Yes, y los farmers con que trabajamos ya saben eso y estamos preparando otras cosas.
The farmers that we're working with already know all this, and we're preparing some new stuff.
Cuando haces un pan con ese trigo plasmatizado, ya no necesitas comer mucho.
Once you prepare your bread with this wheat, you realize you don't need much to feed yourself with.
Y en el próximo año, en vez de cultivar 120 hectáreas de trigo, vamos a cultivar muchos más almas verticales.
And in the future, with these 120 hectares of wheat, we will feed many more vertical creatures.
Sí, ofreciendo la posibilidad de desvoltarse y vivir en esa tierra porque han llegado aquí para experimentar como nosotros.
These vertical creatures have come to experiment with us all these experiences and to disseminate all this knowledge through their souls.
Hace 4 años parecía que es algo que va a pasar dentro de muchos años. No, todo pasa ahora mismo.
4 years ago, we thought this would take a long time to be accomplished, but now we have realized this is coming in a fast way.
Sí, y aquí en eso ya por todo el trabajo que hacen los buscadores de conocimiento, la información original se transmite por el alma.
And all the original knowledge is being transmitted through our souls.
Hay muchos que esperan encontrarnos y trabajar juntos.
Many people are waiting to experience all this together with us.
Y vamos a trabajar también en los dos planos.
And we will be working in both different planes, in the physical and in the spiritual or soul level.
Siempre estamos trabajando así porque si no, no va a pasar nada.
We always work this way, if not, nothing will happen.
Y es la fisicalidad, alma de la fisicalidad y el alma del hombre.
We work both with the soul of physicality and the soul of the man.
Atención,
and all other
intención,
creatures also.
atención, intención, emoción.
With intention, emotion, and third.
Y así vamos a ver muchos farmers felices
And this way we will see many
Farmers.
sí, pero no feliz. Se
Happy.
me escapa la-
Happy.
happy, yeah. Many happy farmers.
Yes, sí, sí, John, porque eso es más importante de como todo. Ahora le gustan trabajar en el campo.
Now they all like to work in the farms, their farms.
Porque no hay nada tóxico. Al contrario,
There's
te
nothing
alegras
toxic.
cuando trabajas.
This makes you happy when you're working.
Antes tenía que descansar mucho después de rociar con químicas y recuperarse porque es muy, muy tóxico.
Whenever they worked with chemical products, they had to rest for a long time because it was very toxic.
Sí, y cuando trabajas con plasma, te vas al trabajo y cuando llegas a casa ya no tienes que descansar porque estás muy, muy energizado.
And now the experience is that when they work with a plasma and they go back home, they don't have to rest because they're full of energy.
Eso es la dimensión del plasma y agradezco a todos. Thank you.
This is the new dimension of the plasma technology, and thank you all. Thank
Ya
you.
estamos preparados, podemos integrar la dimensión de plasma, así que ya la paz está en el camino, está hecha.
Here we can experience the peace, a new world peace, which is already being attributed to this technology here.
Thank you, Gianni, once again. Thank you for all the images and videos that you provided as well. Really good, some really good shots there.
Could I ask a question?
Yeah,
So-
before you start, Mark,
Yes.
I'd like to ask Rick, could you hand me over a copy of all these different translations on agriculture, because I would like to take them into the institute here, the agricultural institute we got here, which I went over to them 6 years ago, and they couldn't or wouldn't believe me, so they haven't done anything towards this, but they may convince themselves that this is the future of their technology. Thank you, Mark.
No, I was going to mention to Giani, or I guess yourself as well, all of us, the agricultural blueprint Mr. Kesh did when he worked in China. He said that that was proprietary information, but it would be shared intergovernmentally if the government would contact the foundation, or I don't know exactly, probably contact the foundation. So Giani, I think you can tell the government officials there that the tests have been done and the documentation can be shared intergovernmentally. Mr. Kesh put it the way he put it at that time.
Sí, Mark, sí, cuando fue cuando lanzó el señor Kesh el comunicado para los gobiernos.
Yes, Mark, you're right there. This is when he gave the different governments all the knowledge in those pens.
Entonces fue cuando se ha hecho la petición para el gobierno y se han presentado todos los datos de los chinos. Del
And
experimento.
he facilitated all the knowledge the Chinese have experimented.
Yo no he participado en este encuentro, pero lo sé por el presidente de Asociación Kesh Rumanía.
I wasn't there present, but I know this through the president of the Romanian group here of the Kesh Foundation.
Sí, porque los experimentos que hemos presentado me han dicho que son pequeñitos.
We have been told that the experiments that have been presented were very small.
Y ahora ya tenemos experimentos con cientos de hectáreas en Rumanía y también en la República Moldavia.
And now we can show you all the experiments we've done here in Romania and Moldavia, which are pretty big.
Y por eso estamos abiertos y cuando me contactan, solo tenemos que decir lo que tiene que ir a la fundación.
And that's why whenever I get contacted by any of these people, I tell them to get in contact with the foundation.
Nosotros no somos constructores o farmers o trabajadores, sino somos buscadores de conocimiento que mostramos cómo hacemos.
We're not farmers or builders or whatever. We're only knowledge seekers, which we're helping out here in the foundation.
Los que quieren utilizarlo, estamos abiertos para comunicar y compartir todos los experimentos que hemos hecho.
We're all open to divulge this knowledge with whoever wants to acquire it.
Y siempre quien quiere más tiene que ir a la fundación en los privados.
And whoever wants some more knowledge has to go over to the private teachings of the foundation.
Nosotros solo hemos mostrado cómo se hace, ellos han hecho con sus manos, con su fisicalidad, con su alma, todo.
What we are showing is what the different people are doing with all the physicality and the souls and all their work.
Ya podemos pasar a otro capítulo.
Now we can go over to the next chapter.
Y para nosotros continuar con otros tipos de experimentos, porque eso ya están hechos.
These next chapters will be with some new experiments which we will be doing in the future.
Así que en el próximo año vamos a venir con otros experimentos que hemos y utilizamos el plasma en todos los aspectos de la vida.
In the next times, we will come over with some new experiments and different life experiments also.
Para ese año hemos propuesto hacer los talleres plasma, medio, agricultura, alimentación, y ya están hechos, están completos.
This last year, we were proposed to do all this agricultural and feeding.
Plasma, medio, agricultura, alimentación.
Yeah. On the plasma, agriculture, and feeding. And we've done this already.
Hemos hecho la comida plasmática, el pan, el queso y todo lo que es necesario, los aceites. Ya está hecho también.
We have shown how to produce the different materials of feedings, la tercera no me acuerdo ahora qué dijiste.
Aceite.
The different oils.
Sí, porque aquí en la farm de Boscouch también se cultiva el girasol y todo.
And the soaps also, yes.
Sí, así que para los quien quiere, empezando del próximo año, puede tomar toda la comida plasmática.
And as from next year, everybody can have their plasmatized feedings or meals because of all this knowledge. And I would add, he also shows us how to produce soaps and detergents. No te olvides de los detergentes y jabones.
Sí, también cremas medicinales, aceites medicinales.
And all the medicinal creams and other products.
Sí, pero sin utilizar el palabra medicinal porque ya no son medicinales, son para uso normal.
We don't use the word medicinal products because this is a normal life materials which make you live into a natural health, a positive health way.
Sí, no somos médicos, pero donde hemos trabajado con los campos, las almas, las personas se han equilibrado y se han recuperado de muchos problemas de salud.
Wherever we've worked, we notice that the people don't need any more doctors' help as they have recuperated their own health.
Y eso solo para utilizar el plasma.
And this is through only utilizing the plasma.
Es normal, es natural, porque cuando hay campos equilibrados ya te pones en equilibrio.
This is natural and normal because we're equilibrating all the fields.
Sí, y así los hechos son que habla por plasma. Nosotros solo estamos mostrando.
This goes to show for itself the way all this finds their own level and equilibrium.
Ven qui.
Yes, that's what Mr. Kesh says. We're not doctors, but we're technology providers. So again, we're not farmers per se. I don't think Giani owns or runs a farm, but he's providing inexpensive and powerful technology to the farmer. And it applies also to the energies. And now I think Mr. Kesh is allowing everyone to generate their own power. We're not power generators, but we're just supplying power technology to the citizens, let's say. I noticed a similarity between what was the difference in the protein? When Mr. Kesh did the agricultural experiments in China, the wheat was larger size. We saw pictures of that. The growing season was shorter. The harvest was conservatively 2 or 3 times as much. But one of the most phenomenal things Mr. Kesh said, which had never been shown before, was the increase in protein content per gram of wheat. And I would say if the protein content of the milk, and I didn't catch quite what it was, I think it was 3.18 or something, but what was it before? You had said that they are boasting that this is the highest protein content in the milk in the entire area or region.
In the egg, para los huevos pasa lo mismo, incremento de proteína. John.
Yeah, in the eggs you also get the different kind of proteins contained in each egg. Chicken's eggs.
En todo donde se
And,
utiliza el plasma hay un crecimiento de proteína.
And we've noticed this happening in whatever we are producing. The protein content of the material is very much higher.
Y disculpe, Mark, para interrumpir, y gracias.
Excuse me for interrupting, Mark, but thank you.
Right, so you're reproducing that. And I've always wondered why, if we shouldn't eat another entity to, let's say, keep our entity going, that we would be increasing the amount of agricultural yield, because that practice doesn't seem correct in the ethos of the universe. However, Mr. Kesh said, when you grow things plasmatically, it has the feature of elevating the soul. We've seen that in Australia. I think we've seen this reported by Giani many times as well. So eventually, again, I don't know how fast eating will go out of style, and maybe you'll just eat for the pleasure of it. But that was just a couple of thoughts I thought I'd share on that. That it's an actual soul elevator. So perhaps as people eat plasmatically grown material over the longer run, they would require less, and the soul becomes elevated in a way, or partially, through the consumption of plasmatically grown material, which leads to higher understanding of less eating, perhaps.
Giani gave us a clue in this video right about here.
Oh, the protein content, you mean? Yes, you can see that in the picture of
Well, what he does
whatever the
is,
machine is measuring.
yeah, but what he's doing is, if you see Giani in this video, he's taking a few kernels of the grain, which has already been treated with the plasma water, and he puts them in his mouth, and that's his lunch, basically. Right? He puts them in his mouth and lets them sit there for a while. Giani, could you explain that process, how you get the energy from the seeds directly?
Yes. Thank you, Rick. En ese video he mostrado la prueba, lo hemos hecho todos. Si tomas un poquito de trigo plasmatizado, ya no tienes hambre todo el día.
Here we've tested, all of us have tested this. We've put some plasmatized seed in our mouth for a while, and we don't require any food all day.
Sí, es porque de inmediato, como está plasmatizado, ya toman los campos.
We can feel the fields that helping us out, and we don't need any extra feeding.
Si me acordamos, cada semilla de trigo es un alma.
As we can remember, each seed is a soul.
Y cuando se remueve, como hemos visto en el video, se está vestiéndose con plasma en la piel.
And as you can see, when we're working with the wheat, each different seed is nurturing itself from the fields around them.
Y se abre de inmediato, y cuando metes unos 12, 15 semillas de trigo en la boca, no tienes que comerlo de inmediato.
And when we put 12 or 15 seeds in our mouth, we don't have to eat them immediately. We have to feed our soul there.
Solo hay que tenerlo en la boca hasta cuando se disuelven y te estás llenando de campos.
We just have to keep them in our mouth till they dissolve, and we assimilate all these fields.
Y por eso no se necesita mucho.
That is why you don't need much of feeding.
Así que eso fue el desayuno, la comida y la cena.
That's why this was our breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
En el adelante la comida va a ser solo para placer.
In the near future, the food will only be for pleasure.
Porque ya nos alimentamos, como sabemos, 80% de los campos, pero vamos a empezar a alimentarnos más.
As you know, we already feed ourselves with 80% of our feeding. It comes from universe, but in the future, we'll require less food as we be feeding ourselves from these extra fields.
Los 20% de la fisicalidad lo vamos a bajar hasta cuando nos alimentamos solo por los campos.
We'll reduce this 20% of energy we're taking from the food, we'll be lowering it to practically nothing.
Pero la comida, como sabemos, también es una emoción que está alimentando el alma del hombre.
But as we know, the food is also an emotional feeding. We also need this every now and again.
No tenemos que forcear el cuerpo físico.
We don't have to frustrate our physical body.
Esto tiene que cambiar natural, sin esfuerzo, sin sufrimiento.
We have to do these changes in a natural way with no effort.
Eso hemos visto como he pasado con nosotros y con muchos con quien trabajamos.
We have noticed this with ourselves and with many people we have been working with.
Y una cosa que me ha impresionado muchísimo en los últimos talleres.
And something which has impressed me in a very good way the last few workshops we have done.
Los que han participado me han dicho que ya no quieren comer carne sin prohibir nada de eso.
And many of them have told me they're not interested in eating any more meat. There's no prohibition, they're not interested.
Le dicen con toda la sinceridad y me alegra mucho por eso, porque se está descansando mucho mejor, tiene más energía.
And they say this in a sincere way, as they have more energy and more, they don't have to rest for a long time.
Y John,
need them much in sleep. Sí,
John, la maravilla es que sin esfuerzo.
And with no effort. No, lo que no van a tener que hacer es producir más ganado ahora.
Sí, así es. Y lo saben.
The strange thing is they won't have to have any more cattle in the future. And they know this.
Sí, y se alegran mucho. ¡Wow! No tengo que cultivar tanto. No tengo que hacer... ¡Maravilloso!
They're happy because they won't have to work that much for more production or more cattle.
Y si una vez que se utiliza el plasma, ya no tienes que trabajar tanto. Se arreglan muchísimas cosas por la naturaleza, por el equilibrio.
And what they have noticed is working with a plasma, they don't have to tend for many things or fix any material, whichever the problem comes to when you're working, and they're happy with all this.
Podéis hacer un experimento, nosotros lo hemos hecho hace 3 años.
You can do a simple experiment, which we have done this 3 years ago.
Hemos comprado semillas bio y lo hemos puesto en aquaplasma CO2 ZNO.
¿Te referís a las tratadas químicamente?
No, lo de bio, naturales.
Normales.
Sí.
And we've done this experiment 3 years ago, buying normal non-contaminated seeds and put them into plasma water.
Hemos elegido una tienda de productos naturales que hay muchas por Rumanía.
We have chosen these seeds from natural producers that produce these seeds with no contaminants.
Porque hemos hecho el experimento en 12 sitios de Rumanía, 12 almas.
We have done these experiments in 12 different places here in Romania.
Y hemos puesto las semillas en aquaplasma para germinar y hemos empezado a alimentarnos con los campos.
We have done this, put these seeds into plasma water, and we have fed off these fields irradiated by them, and that's what's feeding us.
Hemos utilizado 5 tipos de semillas,
We have used 5 different types of seeds,
arroz también,
rice also,
y los que han hecho el experimento han dejado de comer mucha pan.
and what the people that have tried this out have realized, they consume very much less bread.
Y bueno, no solo el pan, los productos que se hacen con la harina.
Not only bread, but all the different products that are produced with the wheat.
Ese experimento lo he compartido también en Plasma Reactor Grupo hace unos 3 años, 3 o 4 años.
I've also shared this in the plasma group 3 or 4 years ago.
Gracias, Rick. Thank you, Rick. Thank you.
Thank you for that explanation, Gianni. Very nice.
One little extra, if I could. You said, Gianni, the soldiers carried a pouch of seeds and a pouch of salt. Was the salt connected to the feeding, or was the salt just to keep their electrolyte up? What was the salt for, if you know?
¿Ha comprendido, Gianni?
Si puedes traducir al español porque también es importante para los españoles.
Phenomenal. He wants me to translate into Spanish, so this is important also for the Spanish group. Mark asks if by feeding yourself
Al
from the
español,
seeds.
al español.
Sí, tenés razón. Es la inconsciencia. Mark ha preguntado si cuando consumen los granos también consumen la sal. ¿Para qué razón consumen la sal? ¿Es para integrar todo esto?
Pero, ¿de qué sal estás hablando, Mark?
What salt are you talking about, Mark?
I thought he said they carried a small pouch of seeds to feed themselves and also a small pouch of salt. And I was wondering, yeah.
Alguien ha mencionado de que los soldados romanos llevaban los granos y algo de sal que ponían en la boca para alimentarse.
Sí, sí, yo he dicho de eso y hablo mucho de los romanos y el trigo y el sal.
Yes, I have mentioned this, and I've mentioned this many a time about the seeds and the salt.
El palabra sueldo sale por el sal.
The word of your salary comes from the salt.
Yes, salary, el salario en romano también. Y es porque los soldados regalaban el sal para otro tipo de comida. No solo comían ellos el sal.
Yeah, the soldiers would give away salt for other people to be able to nourish themselves. And
Porque,
that was the salary.
Sí, el sal ha sido mucho utilizado para cambio con otros productos, como una moneda de cambio.
Yeah, in history, it was normally used as an exchange or monetary exchange. They used to use the salt instead of money.
Pero ahora, por el regalo del conocimiento del señor Cash, sabemos por qué el sal es muy, muy importante.
Now, through Mr. Cash, we know why salt is so important.
Porque también los monjes utilizaban mucho solo el pan y la sal.
That's why the monks used to use the grain and salt.
Y el pan se llamaba azima y sería hecho sin fuego.
And the monks used to make this bread called asima, and it wasn't cooked, it was raw.
Solo,
It's just like Giani does.
yes, yes. Solo agua, harina de trigo entera y un poquito de sal.
You make the bread with just water, the pure white wheat, and some salt, nothing else.
Pero estamos hablando del sal de mina o de mar sin yodo y otras cosas.
We talk about natural salts from sea water or mines, not all these new salts which have many additives.
Un kilo de pan hecho así sin fuego te vale como unos 30 del otro.
The bread produced without cooking, a kilogram equivalates about 30 kilograms of the other cooked bread.
Y además, si está hecho con plasma, no hay comparación.
And if it's produced with plasma, there's no way of comparing them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gianni. I thought it was similar to putting salt in coffee. Mr. Kesh had indicated that sort of strengthens or potentizes the coffee effect. And I was thinking the salt had something to do with the feeding, but I guess it doesn't.
Yes, Mark. El sal está amplificando otros gustos y en el café lo hace muy, muy fuerte y muy aromado.
Yes, the salt potentializes the taste and the qualities of the coffee very much so, and with all other foods also.
Tiene como una potencia de aromatizar todo donde lo pones, extraer las aromas, y sabemos por qué.
It also betters the aroma of the different coffees or foods.
Es un potenciador de aromas, una de las acciones.
It strengthens all the aromas of the different foods.
Pero atención con lo que se llama monosodio glutamato.
Watch out for the glutamate sodium.
Monosodium glutamate.
The monosodium glutamate. Watch out for that, they're no good at all.
Sí, porque esos, las consecuencias son al contrario. Necesitas más.
These salts, you need some more salts. They're very bad for you.
Han creado mucha dependencia porque ahora se pone en todo.
They're like a drug. You need more of these salts to consume to be able to recover the nutritional part of it.
Y aquí hemos tenido algunas experiencias con niños que no les gustaba natural por la culpa del monosodio glutamato.
We have had many an experience with kids which they have consumed this glutamate salt and they reject the normal salts, and that's
Sí.
not good for them.
Está quemando las papilas gustativas, John.
It's burning their taste buds.
Sí, y por eso se tardan por lo menos un 20 días para recuperar los gustos naturales.
And it takes them about 20 days to recuperate their normal taste buds.
Pero utilizando el agua salada del reactor, con un poquito de aminoácido, ya eso se cambia de repente.
And if they drink some plasma water with a bit of amino acids, they'll recuperate the buds immediately.
Nosotros utilizamos aquaplasma del reactor sin gas, pero con unas gotas de aminoácido para preparar la comida.
We utilize the plasma water with some amino acids for preparing all the meals.
Gracias. Thank you.
Gracias, Johnny. Yeah, I think they refer to that monosodium glutamate as an excitotoxin.
Yeah.
Some way it stimulates the brain to want more of it or something along that line.
Yeah, it's like a drug that feeds other drugs. Yeah. What I've seen also with the fields is I'm here in continual contact with the fields, the plasma water I have right next to me, and my daughter is normally in her room about 5 meters away, and she has contacted the flu, a very strong flu we are having here right now. And I'm in contact with her and the people that continually come and fetch the plasma water, which also have many of them have some strong flu, and I haven't managed to get caught up by this flu at all, not even a cough. So the fields protect you through you create a dome near where you have all these plasma products around you. And the other experience I had, I think I've mentioned it before, is when I went over to Mexico a year, was it 2.5 years ago, I had a big infection in my jawbone, and my neck was very much inflamed. I had antibiotics given to me over there. They did nothing to me. The infection continued. And as the moment I came here, where I had all this plasma dome around me, in 12 hours, I got rid of the whole inflammation and all the big problem I had with my jawbone. And I haven't been to the dentist. In fact, one of the chaps or blokes that come along here to fetch water, he's an admiral from the forces. He's retired now, but he's also a dentist, and he's invited me over to his clinic, and I haven't been over. He's been coming along here for over a year now, and I haven't even visited him to have my teeth looked into, which I have broken teeth and well, just like an old horse. But I'm testing all these energies with myself. Have you all fallen asleep or no questions?
Yes, the audience is rather quiet here.
No questions about that, at least. No.
Yeah, Vajra, you had your microphone open before. Did you have another topic or something you'd like to bring up?
No, I have some curious questions about. I'm just gonna put on some headphones. Maybe it'd be easier to hear me.
Yeah.
You may want to look at Jefferson's question if he's going to take a minute or two to hook up. Rick?
No, I'm done. Done. And I was I was going to the web store and I was looking for this replicator thing, you know, food replication. Wasn't there a food replication thing in the web store before?
Yeah, I think there was. In fact, let's have a look, I guess.
And replication and reproducing is a lot of a part of this technology, as we're seeing with the cosmic rays. They're going to replicate the rays from the creator, let's say. So there's a lot of reproduction, mimicking, copying, reproducing.
Yeah, and I thought it would be, if it's still there, it would be nice to maybe share to skeptic people who are skeptic about science. It's a good way to. So I thought about getting that.
May I add one thing, one sentence?
Absolutely.
We don't replicate the rays of the creator. We replicate conditions so the rays of the creator can manifest themselves.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, if you replicate it, it's never the ray of the creator, although it is an echo of. But if you create conditions for the rays of the creator to manifest, then they are cosmic natural. Then they are from the creator. Without translation interference, when we create, we add our conditions to it. So if we create conditions, by the conditions that are already there, then you get the translation the natural way. Then you get the ray of the creator. All rays are from the creator, but translated in the conditions. So that's why we have to understand, we don't replicate, we give room to manifest itself. Yeah.
I think we should have known that by now, as we know how
Yes.
works. So I think that's. But
Well,
that's
we are replicating the knowledge of the universe. This is the whole process of creation, and a replication, understanding it so you can replicate it. This is why we're being taught the knowledge of the creator.
You understand it. It's not replicating. When you understand it, you
create the condition.
You
Yes.
expecting. How do I? When you understand it,
Yes,
you can calculate it
it's
to.
very. It's create the condition of the universe. The ray of cosmic, it's here. Thank you.
I think
Sí.
we all understand. I think
Sí,
that's.
así es, John. Lo que tenemos que crear son las condiciones para manifestarse los rayos cósmicos, porque ya existen.
So you see, Rick, this doesn't seem to be there anymore, is it?
Sí.
Well, it talks about the GAN's reserve for water dispenser, which can be placed outside the water dispenser and releases its fields to the water.
But there was I remember there was some device with like 4 small GAN's containers around.
And there's a strap that kind of went around the container.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm trying to find that, but I can't. There's
Seems
the
like it just
water
disappeared.
dispenser. It mentions the sealed bottle can be placed outside the GAN's water dispenser and releases its fields to the water again. But it doesn't. Let's look for a different category, perhaps.
I was looking around and I was surprised not to see it anymore. I was like, what is it?
It's not.
We noticed that in the
Energizer, and that's different again.
Yeah, we noticed this in the cleansing of the water also. If you've got the water in contact with the GANs, the way the water gets cleansed is very much faster.
Mm-hmm.
And the pH goes up in a faster way also. You always got the pH over 8.5.
Sí, John, y una vez que haces en tu casa con los campos fuertes, toda el agua que metes dentro te va a escuchar a tu intención. Si es necesaria, va a tener 8 el pH, si no, menos de 7. He comprobado varias veces eso.
Gianni says that he has noticed this in his farm, also his place. Whenever you got the plasma water around you, that elevates the pH of all the waters and strengthens the fields of all the products around you.
Sí, John, así es, y es maravilloso que pasa eso, y es natural.
It's in a natural and a marvelous way.
Y aquí en la
Déjame explicar mi.
ok.
I produce over 500 liters a day of plasma water. I've got natural fountains, beautiful natural fountains here by my home. And I pump this water into the tank that gives me water to my whole home. And apart from this, I've got a 500 liter tank,
Look at that.
which is continually plasmatizing in a stronger way. And that's what I put into containers for the people to take away.